Yeah, as you can tell, the background is different. It's because I have moved. I am now gonna live in this apartment on my own. I am still in Paris, and what else could I tell you? I just moved like 3 days ago, so it's not done yet by any means, and that's the best background I could find for now. I think I actually kind of like this background. I just need to figure out for the light and being straight and all those little things, but it's fine, it's fine. We're gonna make it work. Anyway, today I wanted to talk about something which is gonna attract a lot of people who are not feminists or who are reluctant to call themselves feminists, while also acknowledging and agreeing with a lot of principles and ideas of feminism. How you would still refuse to call yourself a feminist is still a mystery to me. Like, it's not a mystery as in enlighten me and explain to me. It's still a mystery as in I find it absolutely absurd. Sorry, I'm gonna start the video while being very honest, but that's what you are probably expecting on this channel. The only thing that I could kind of understand is people who don't want to label themselves, but still it's something that I find very limited, like critically and argument-wise. But yeah, today I wanted to talk about, how before I actually became a real feminist, I suppose you could say, how I could have had at some time some reluctance and some hesitation to agree with a lot of things that I agree with right now. A few days ago I was on the bus and I was just thinking, and I was thinking of, some things that I now find very basic and normal and that don't shock me and don't surprise me at all, but used to surprise me at first and used to even, meet a sort of opposition in me when I first heard about it. The whole gender thing, the whole, what would I say, the whole essentialism thing, or just the whole social construct thing can be, I think, very destabilizing and very unsettling and very shocking for some people. And there are different ways to react to this. I think it's a lie to say that anyone, or that most people who are feminists now, when they first met those ideas and those concepts, were like just blown away by everything. Positively. Some things were a real liberation, some things were really empowering, and some things were really enlightening, and in that way the shock was a positive one. But some things were a bit harder to give up, or some things were a bit harder to admit and accept. And I think being a cis woman and being a white cis woman, I have a fair set of things that I did not discard or I did not reject, but that were not natural and easy and spontaneously accepted by me. And I think this is exactly what some anti-feminists or some women or some people that, are not that opposed to feminism but don't want to call themselves feminists and have a bit of a weird and just off-putting idea and vision of feminism feel. It's a real fear of seeing everything that has been your structure, be it social, be it family, be it romantic and relationship-wise, being destroyed or being taken down. Because when you talk about social construct, when you talk about changing things, when you talk about, fighting patriarchy, when you talk about reorganizing society, for some people, for those people that benefit from society especially, it's kind of difficult to accept. And so some people are like, shit, it's actually making me look like a bit of an asshole. So I am gonna research and I am gonna work on myself and I'm gonna come to terms with it. And while researching things with an open mind, you soon realize that it's actually gonna be liberating for you as well. And that even if you have to give up a few privileges, it's just fair, and that's the way it should be, and it becomes something very natural after a while. But not everyone does react that way, and some people just close themselves, and some people just think that feminism is going to lead to this huge chaos where identity is going to be destroyed and gender is going to be destroyed, and their male, their female identity are going to be, you know, erased, or that if they want to create a happy family, they're not going to be able to do it, or whatever. Because, you know, feminism hates, obviously, it's well-known, families. And obviously, you know, I really want to point out that this is really illogical, and with a bit of research, there's people who clearly and quickly realize their mistake and their misunderstanding. But not everyone's willing to research, and not everyone is willing to be open and lucid about the situation and their own situation as well. And sometimes I kind of understand why some people are like about feminism, because I think that some feminists sometimes are too quick, like they kind of forget too easily that it was a process for them as well, and that it's going to be a process for some people too. So this is something that we should keep in mind, that it's okay if someone does not accept immediately the idea that perhaps everything they're doing is a social construct, and that everything they're doing is perhaps not really what they want to be doing, and that perhaps their perfect relationship is actually a lot about patriarchy, about sexism, about domination, or to see that the relationship of their parents is like that, or maybe to realize that they've been acting in a way that's misogynistic or whatever. And it's not necessarily easy to realize those things, and so I think people have the right to have a little bit of time to understand that, but past a certain point there's no excuse anymore. And that's really what I want to focus on. It's like, you know, you've been educated, you've been informed, you have the internet, you have everything, and after a while, if you still want to stick in this I'm afraid of change, I'm afraid of this so-called chaos and just absurd nonsense that feminists want to impose on all of us, it's just being really delusional, I think, and having no intellectual honesty, I want to say. Because if you make a little bit of research, and if you actually look at the world around you, you're going to see that it's really not what's happening and what's going to happen, and it's not what feminism is advocating for. And it's also just a silly, short way to think that if feminism gets more and more accepted, and we get to fight for equality, for women's rights, for trans people's rights, for queer people's rights, for anti-racism, for anti-speciesism, all those things, if we just can make it so that people think that actual equality between women and men and all people is a thing that should be fought for and defended, it's not going to prevent people who want to have a more traditional life to keep on living this traditional life. Not everyone's going to wake up next morning and be like, actually I'm non-binary, actually I'm trans, actually I'm queer, actually I'm this, I'm that, I want to do this, I want to do that. You know, it's going to help a lot of people actually are all of these things, to just feel comfortable, to have access to information, to be respected, and to have equal rights, because we're talking about rights. We're not only talking about, you know, individual perception of each other. It's actual rights which are at stake, and it's a very important matter. It's such a selfish and conservative and frozen attitude. Okay, the memory card was full, so I had to stop, and I don't really remember where I was. But I guess I said the most of what I wanted to say. I was finishing up with the idea that, you know, not everyone would have to change their life in a drastic way, and that it would actually impact positively people who need it, rather than impact negatively people who are already just, you know, established in their life and, you know, performing gender in the way that they're supposed to do. I'm being a bit too sarcastic right here, I think, but, you know, people who are satisfied with the way that things are right now, and who just feel like their identity is respected and, you know, are not threatened, you know, you're gonna be able to keep on doing what you want to do and living the life that you want to do. It's just gonna be an issue for you if you're actually taking advantage of the fact that some people can't do it, and if you're, you know, being someone who's actively oppressive. But if not, your life's not gonna change, and it's just gonna allow people to feel more comfortable and accepted and have representation and rights. And isn't that just the basic freedom and the basic right that we should want for everyone, really? So yeah, I just wanted to talk about that a little bit. I think a lot of the reserve and, you know, a lot of the dissent that sometimes people put or feel towards feminism is really linked to fear. For some people, it's actually linked to hate and intolerance, and that's just shitty, and that's another subject. But for some people, it's just really fear, because they feel like feminism is threatening, you know, all that they've ever known, and the pattern and the mold and everything that they've been living in and growing up in. And it's also important, I think, as feminists, to always remember that it was a process for us as well, and that we disagree even within feminism, and that therefore, if we want to make people, you know, understand what feminism really is about and the basic, most important things of feminism, it's also very important to respect them and the time they have to go through. We have to respect their process, because they need a process as well, just like we did. And some people are quicker than others, and that's just life. And yeah, I just wanted to talk about that a little bit. And you know, but mostly this video really is not an excuse for people who are like ditching feminism. I'm just talking about this very particular group of people who might be, you know, about feminism because they're scared, and because but who genuinely, you know, believe that, you know, equality should be a thing, then that discrimination should end, and that people should have rights, and that, and all of this. It's also a video to really say that it's just being dishonest to keep on after a while, you know, pretending that society is threatened by feminism, that families are going to be destroyed, and that males are going to be killed and erased, and that feminists are crazy women who just want to change everything and make everyone able to identify as whatever they want, you know. That's all I have to say. So thank you for watching this video, guys, and I'll talk to you soon.